Day 2 of the second test match in Pune. First things first, it did not rain. It's a very weird monsoon in Pune where good thing is it rains after play is over. It rains heavily in concentrated areas, but didn't rain. So we got a full day's play in. India started slowly, then galloped, and then South Africa stumbled at the end.
Yeah, they did a good job, India, because in this test match they decided to leave one of the batsmen out. So it was important. South Africa had a little opportunity if they had picked up some early wickets to put India under some pressure and get themselves back into the test. And there's a bit of a watchful approach from Ajinkya Rahane and Kohli up front, but it was important to do so. And once they had got through that initial hour, then they started to dominate again and put the bowling attack under pressure. So yeah, another good effort. They were very good on day one and backed it up with a good performance day two.
I spoke to Ajinkya at the end of the day and he said that first hour was so important because he thought there's still some life left in that pitch. Did it disappoint you a little bit? They didn't get a wicket in that first hour when there was a little bit there? I thought I might have overheard you say it's almost South African conditions. You'll never get South African conditions here, but...
yeah, you can. I mean, we get some flat wickets in some parts of South Africa, but there's always something in it in the morning. And I think with that second new ball there was. And the South Africans found the edge, a couple have dropped short, didn't carry to the slip cordon. So they would have been disappointed. And as we saw evidence when India had a bowl that there's still some really good carry and some movement as well. And I do think the pitch is starting to disintegrate a bit and starting to help the spin as the game goes on. But it doesn't matter what you do, pitch-wise, whatever, the pressure of 600 runs is just massive, and that's what India has done through some good batting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Rahane thought that it was about a 500 kind of pitch, and he thought they got a bonus with the last 100 runs or so. Virat Kohli, he doesn't get 100 for 10 innings, and we talk about it. And when he gets one, it's 250.
Yeah, I suppose it's just something you pick up when you watch as much cricket as we do. But when he got to the crease, there was almost like this real sense of determination. And maybe because he got out cheap in the first innings and only got to 13 odd out in the second innings in the first test, I think he was dead keen to get a big score. You could just tell it from his mindset and his approach. There was nothing risky to start with. He got himself in. Even when the bad balls, he just knocked it for one. He was really setting himself up, and it paid dividends. So credit to him, he's a class player, and you know, once he gets in, he's one of those guys we saw from the conversion chart. Once he gets to 50, he makes you pay.
And when he did get out, the spinner managed to bowl a no ball. How does a spinner bowl a no ball?
Yeah, Mutasam was guilty of a couple on the day, and it would have been quite cool for him, I suppose, if he had picked up Kohli again. We would have had him as his bunny. 2 test matches and 2 wickets, but yeah, it wasn't a great effort. But at that stage of the day, I think South Africa were mentally demoralised by what they had to experience.
The other little subplot there was Faf du Plessis and left or right. When he stood fine, the ball went right. When he went wider, the ball went left.
Yeah, he was caught in all pockets at one stage and trying to work it out. You probably should have just had 2 people there, so if any edge did go, they could managed to take it. But yeah, sometimes in those desperate situations it becomes a bit of guesswork and you start to back Billy's Boots. Did you ever watch the comic or read the comic Billy's Boots?
No, you tell us about it.
There was a soccer player who was given some boots, and the boots just got him into the right position at the right time and he would score goals. So we always used to use the phrase in our team, just back yourself, use Billy's Boots, go where you think it's going to go, and it didn't go according to plan.
I must tell you one thing about Shaun Pollock. He could bowl, but I think his skill at creating words and making new words is far advanced. Tell us, if you've been in dressing rooms where things have gone well, where things have not gone that well. You get, 10 minutes between innings? Really, that's 7-8 minutes. How tough is it? Because these batsmen have come out tired in their minds as much as in the bodies.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Markram's tired shot?
Yeah, I think it's just footwork. You know, at that stage you've been standing on your feet for 7 hours the day before, and you've been in the field again for 5 hours. You know, your feet get tired and they're not as sharp. You know, if you face that delivery in the first 10 minutes of a test match, you're ready to move. And I think it was the case in point. Even Dean Elgar's, maybe his shot selection, he was sort of caught between whether he should or shouldn't play. It's just a little bit of sharpness that sometimes can have a detrimental effect on you, and that's where the South Africans found themselves. And I think they'll be disappointed because, you know, you come here and you think you're going to get an examination of spin. But if you look at the last innings in Vizag, it was 4 wickets by Shami, or 5 wickets by Shami, who really did the job. And again today, 3 of the wickets have fallen to the seamers. And South Africans would think, well, we've got that base covered. Yes, maybe we have to adjust our game plan to the spinners, but we should have the fast bowlers sorted on those kind of surfaces, and it's not to be. So they'll be disappointed. Only positive really was the way Tinus de Bruin played. I thought he was pretty good for his 20, and hopefully he can build on that tomorrow. But yeah, once again, what do you got to get 400 to avoid the follow-on? Would India enforce the follow-on? We have to wait and see. But
yeah, they're playing 5 bowlers, so yeah. So okay, now start of day 3. There's a couple of things going against South Africa. One is they're 3 down, they're tired. The second, your weather app that promises rain never works.
Must be on day 3. It must come right on day 3. A little bit of rain just to take a few hours out of the game.
I mean, Tinus de Bruin has batted well so far. And the night watchman, if he hangs around, can irritate the opposition as well?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge for him to hang around on that surface. Nokia is going to get his fair share of short pitch deliveries and balls doing a bit, so it will be challenging. But the rest of the batsmen to come, 400 to avoid the follow-on.
Du Plessis is now number 6.
Big ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that happens when a night watchman comes in. You can understand they're trying to push Bavuma up to 4. It's not working. At some point, Faf has to say, no, I'm batting 4. Maybe it'll happen in the second. And you think there'll be a little more turn on the third day?
It'll go and start to turn more and more. There's no doubt when you go onto that surface and have a look, the patches at the end are getting barer and barer. And also there's obviously less grass down those bottom ends. So I think it will take some turn. So South Africa have got it all to do. I think the best case scenario, I know it's early to make the call at the end of day 2, but somehow South Africa have to bat themselves into a position where they can save this test match and then try and have one last go at it in Ranchi. But when you're facing 600 and you're 3 down for 30, it's a long road back.
I think that said it all. It's a long road back.